Have you ever wondered how Australia, a vast country with a small population, managed to become one of the wealthiest nations in the world? This is the mystery of Down Under, a tale of exploration, colonization, and most importantly, economic development. Australia's story begins over 400 years ago, when European explorers first set foot on its shores, drawn by tales of a distant land filled with strange and exotic creatures. But the real story of Australia's economic ascension starts with its colonization by the British in the late 18th century. Back then, it was seen as nothing more than a distant penal colony, a place to send convicts far away from the more civilized parts of the empire. But even in these early days, the foundations of Australia's future prosperity were being laid. Australia's vast, unexplored landscapes held untold riches. Its fertile soil was perfect for farming, while its rivers and mountains hid mineral wealth beyond anyone's wildest dreams. However, for the early settlers, life was anything but easy. They faced harsh conditions, unfamiliar wildlife, and the constant threat of conflict with the indigenous population. But despite these challenges, the colonists persevered. They built farms, towns, and eventually cities. They laid the groundwork for a society that would one day become one of the most prosperous in the world. They didn't know it at the time, but they were creating a legacy that would last for centuries. But the journey to economic success was not a straight path. It was marked by periods of rapid growth followed by devastating recessions. It was a journey filled with trials and tribulations, but also with triumphs and achievements. From its humble beginnings as a penal colony, Australia has had a fascinating journey to economic success. But how exactly did this happen? To understand that, we need to delve deeper into the history of this remarkable country. We need to explore the events, the policies, and most importantly, the people who played a role in shaping Australia's economic destiny. So buckle up and get ready for a journey through time and across continents as we unravel the mystery of Down Under. The first major turning point in Australia's economic history was the gold rush of the 1850s. Imagine, if you will, the excitement, the thrill of the chase, the lure of striking it rich that swept across the continent like a summer wildfire. The discovery of gold in New South Wales and Victoria sparked a fevered rush, drawing prospectors from every corner of the globe. They sailed across oceans, journeyed over treacherous terrain, driven by the promise of prosperity. This influx of hopeful prospectors, often referred to as diggers, brought with it a significant population boom, with Australia's population nearly tripling during the decade of the gold rush. But the gold rush was more than just a hunt for precious metal. It was an economic catalyst, a transformative event that reshaped the landscape of Australia, both literally and figuratively. As thousands of diggers pitched their tents and dug their mines, makeshift camps evolved into bustling towns. These towns, with their pubs, shops, and services, laid the foundation for many of the cities we know today. The gold rush also had profound implications for Australia's workforce. The promise of gold lured many away from traditional occupations, creating a labor shortage in some sectors and a surplus in others. This imbalance forced the economy to adapt, diversify, and innovate. And let's not forget the wealth. Oh, the wealth. The gold rush generated immense wealth for the lucky few who struck it rich. This newfound wealth was invested back into the economy, fueling further growth and development. But with every boom, there's a bust. By the late 1850s, the easy gold was all but gone, and the number of new arrivals began to dwindle. But the legacy of the gold rush lived on. The population boom, the urban development, the economic diversification, these were enduring changes that set Australia on a path to prosperity. The gold rush set the stage for Australia's future economic development, but the story doesn't end there. The gold rush was just the beginning, a spark that ignited the flame of economic growth. It was a crucial chapter in the untold story of how Australia emerged, developed economically, and got rich. Following the gold rush, Australia experienced an agricultural boom that further boosted its economy. As the glittering allure of gold began to wane, the nation's attention turned towards the fertile soils and vast pastures that stretched as far as the eye could see. The potential for growth in the agricultural sector was vast and unexplored, waiting for the right hands to till and nurture it. The wool industry was one of the first to take root in this agricultural renaissance. The introduction of merino sheep from Spain in the early 19th century led to a surge in wool production. Australia's climate and terrain proved to be a perfect match for these woolly creatures. As a result, the country quickly became one of the world's leading exporters of high-quality wool. Then came the wheat. The vast, open plains of Australia were perfect for growing this staple grain. The wheat industry blossomed, feeding not just the nation but also contributing significantly to the global market. Australia's wheat was in high demand and exports soared. The meat industry too saw a significant upturn during this period. Livestock farming, particularly beef and mutton, became a key part of Australia's agricultural sector. The country's vast pastures were ideal for grazing, and soon, Australian meat was being shipped to dinner tables around the world. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The agricultural boom brought with it challenges. Australia's weather could be unpredictable, with periods of drought and floods causing havoc for farmers. Pest invasions, too, were a constant threat. But through it all, the spirit of the Australian farmer remained unbroken. They adapted, innovated, and persevered. By the end of the 19th century, Australia had become a major global supplier of agricultural products. But the path to economic success was not always smooth. The trials and tribulations faced by the agricultural sector forged a resilient and innovative industry, ready to take on the challenges of the 20th century. The story of Australia's economic development is not just about gold and minerals, it's also a tale of wool, wheat, and meat, and the hard-working farmers who helped feed the world. The Great Depression and World War II posed significant challenges for Australia's economy. The Roaring Twenties drew to a close, giving way to an era marked by economic despair and global conflict. As the Great Depression swept across the globe in the 30s, Australia was not spared. The nation's dependence on wool and wheat exports was its Achilles heel, as plummeting commodity prices led to widespread unemployment and hardship. But even in the face of adversity, Australia's spirit remained unbroken. The government took decisive action, implementing a series of economic reforms and public works projects to stimulate growth and provide employment. It was a time of belt-tightening and resilience, with Australians pulling together to weather the economic storm. Then, as the world was just beginning to recover from the Depression, World War II broke out, plunging the globe into another period of uncertainty and hardship. Australia was drawn into the conflict, with thousands of its citizens serving in the armed forces and many resources diverted to the war effort. Yet, in the crucible of war, Australia found opportunities for economic growth. The country became a crucial supplier of food and military materials to the Allies. Industries expanded rapidly, and women entered the workforce in unprecedented numbers, forever changing the face of the Australian economy. As the war drew to a close, Australia was left with a highly industrialized economy and a more diverse workforce. The nation had proven its resilience, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth and development. Despite the hardships endured, the lessons learned during these tough times laid the foundation for Australia's future economic success. The nation's ability to adapt and innovate in the face of adversity set the stage for the prosperity that would follow in the post-war era. Despite these challenges, Australia emerged from World War II with a stronger and more diverse economy. The hardships of the Great Depression and World War II were not in vain. They were stepping stones on Australia's journey towards economic resilience and prosperity. In the face of adversity, Australia didn't just survive, it thrived. In the post-war period, Australia experienced an unprecedented economic boom. As the dust of the war settled, the land down under embarked on a journey of transformation, a metamorphosis that would see a predominantly rural economy evolve into an urban industrial powerhouse. The engines of this change were the burgeoning manufacturing and mining sectors. Manufacturing, once a smaller player in the economy, began to flex its muscles. Aided by protectionist policies and a growing domestic market, it quickly became a cornerstone of economic activity. Factories sprang up across the nation, churning out goods that fed the appetites of an increasingly affluent society. Parallel to this, the mining industry was striking gold, and not just figuratively. Australia's rich mineral resources, from iron ore to bauxite, were being tapped and exported, creating a steady stream of revenue that fueled further growth. But what truly set the stage for modernization was the influx of immigrants. Post-war immigration policies welcomed a wave of newcomers, many from war-ravaged Europe, seeking a fresh start. This diverse tapestry of cultures not only enriched the social fabric but also provided the workforce that powered the economic engine. With people came urbanization. Bustling cities rose where sleepy towns once stood. Sydney and Melbourne expanded and modernized at a rapid pace, becoming hubs of commerce and innovation. This urban growth, in turn, spurred infrastructure development, creating a cycle of progress that propelled the economy forward. The post-war period was a time of extraordinary transformation for Australia. From the growth of manufacturing and mining to the impact of immigration and urbanization, every facet of society was affected. By the late 20th century, Australia had shed its rural past and emerged as a modern, industrialized nation. By the late 20th century, Australia had transformed into a modern, industrialized economy. This transformation was not just about economic figures or industrial output, but about the people and their aspirations. It was about a nation that dared to dream, dared to change, and in doing so charted its own course towards prosperity. In the 21st century, Australia's economy has continued to evolve and adapt to global trends. As we moved into the new millennium, Australia began to shift away from traditional industries like manufacturing and agriculture. Instead, the land down under started focusing on the service sector, which now accounts for almost 70% of the country's GDP. This sector includes industries like finance, real estate, education, and health, all of which have seen significant growth. The banking industry in particular has become a major player, with Australian banks being ranked among the safest in the world. Globalization has also played a significant role in shaping Australia's 21st century economy. As barriers to international trade and investment have come down, Australia has become more integrated into the global economy. This has brought both challenges and opportunities. On one hand, it has increased competition, but on the other, it has opened up new markets for Australian businesses. The digital age, too, has brought its own set of challenges and opportunities. With the advent of the internet and digital technologies, the way we work, trade, communicate, and even live has fundamentally changed. For Australia, this has meant having to adapt and innovate. The country has seen a rise in tech startups, digital services, and e-commerce, which have all contributed to its economic growth. However, with this digital transformation, there have also been challenges. Issues like cybersecurity, digital literacy, and the digital divide have all come to the forefront. Ensuring that all Australians have access to digital services and the skills to use them has become a priority. Despite these challenges, Australia has shown a remarkable ability to adapt and innovate. It has embraced the digital age, becoming a leader in areas like fintech and digital health. It has also continued to diversify its economy, investing in areas like renewable energy and biotechnology. Today, Australia stands as one of the wealthiest nations in the world, a testament to its remarkable economic journey. So, what are the key takeaways from Australia's economic development story? Well, let's begin by stepping back to the mid-19th century, a time when Australia was gripped by the fervor of the gold rush. The discovery of gold triggered a massive influx of immigrants and propelled the country into an era of unprecedented wealth and prosperity. But this golden age wasn't built to last forever. As the gold reserves dwindled, Australia had to find new ways to sustain its economy. Enter the agricultural boom. With its vast arable lands and favorable climate, Australia turned to farming. The country became a leading exporter of wool, wheat, and meat, creating a steady stream of income that helped it weather the ups and downs of the global economy. Then came the Great Depression and World War II. These global events hit Australia hard, causing widespread unemployment and economic instability. But through resilience and strategic planning, Australia managed to recover and even thrive in the post-war era. The post-war boom and modernization period saw Australia reinvent itself once again. The country diversified its economy, investing in manufacturing and services and opening up to international trade. This period marked a significant shift from a predominantly agricultural economy to a more balanced and diverse one. In the 21st century, Australia has embraced the digital age, becoming a major player in the global tech industry. It's an era of innovation and technological advancement, with Australia at the forefront of groundbreaking research and development. So to sum up, Australia's economic development is a story of transformation. From the gold rush to the digital age, Australia has continually adapted to changing circumstances, turning challenges into opportunities. But it's more than just an economic story. It's a tale of the indomitable spirit of the Australian people, their resilience in the face of adversity, their willingness to innovate, and their enduring belief in the promise of a better tomorrow. Australia's economic journey is a story of resilience, adaptation, and innovation. It's a story that continues to unfold. Australia's economic story is truly a fascinating one. From the mystery of Down Under, through the gold rush and agricultural boom, the country has shown remarkable resilience. Despite the challenges brought by the Great Depression and World War II, Australia emerged stronger, stepping into a post-war boom and modernization. The 21st century further witnessed Australia's economic prowess as it adapted and thrived in the global economy. Today, Australia stands as a testament to the power of human spirit and resilience underpinning its economic development. This journey has not only shaped Australia's present, but will continue to influence its future. It's an untold story of growth, struggle, and prosperity that continues to unfold, offering lessons and insights for us all. If you've enjoyed this video about Australia's economic development, why not give this video a thumbs up? Your likes are the compass that guides us in creating content that you love. And if you're already a part of our VIP-loving community, thank you. You are the wind beneath our wings. If you're new here and you found value in this video, consider joining the family. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to ensure you never miss out on a new video.